The light enters through the cornea, which protects the eye and bends light to provide focus.
Then the light passes through the pupil, a small adjustable opening.
Surrounding the pupil and controlling its size is the iris, a colored muscle that dilates or constricts in response to light intensity and even inner emotions.
The lens behind the pupil focuses incoming light rays and projects them onto the retina, the thin inner surface of the back of the eyeball. Accommodation is the process by which the eye's lens changes and bends to focus near or far objects on the retina.
There are two photoreceptors within the retina, rods and cones. Cones are responsible for seeing colors, and rods allow one to distinguish levels of brightness.
After light strikes these receptors, the information will be transferred to the brain through a bundle of axons known as the optic nerve.
From this nerve, information travels to the brain's sensory relay system known as the thalamus,
which then sends the information to the occipital lobe. The feature detectors are cortical neurons, which are nerve cells that make up the cerebral cortex in the brain that respond to specific features of the stimulus, such as shape, angle, or movement.
The fova is a small depression in the center of the retina where visual activity is highest.
Bipolar cells are specialized cells that connect and transmit information from the eye's photoreceptor cells, the rods and cones in the retina, to the ganglion cells that make up the optic nerve.
The ganglion cells receive information from the bipolar cells and transmit it to the brain for processing.
The optic chiasm is the point in the brain where the optic nerve fibers from each eye cross over the other.
The visual cortex is located in the occipital lobe. It is the part of the cerebral cortex involved in vision.
The blind spot is the point at which the optic nerve leaves the eye, creating a blind spot because no receptor cells are located there.
The trichromatic theory is a theory that the retina contains three different color receptors. One most sensitive to red, one to green, and one to blue, which when stimulated in combination can produce the perception of any color.
The opponent process theory is the theory that opposing retinal processes like red, green, yellow, blue, and white, black enable color vision.
My pinna, the outer part of my ear, was visible to everyone who saw me on the street. The loud street noises were collected in my pinna and directed to my outer ear canal. From there, the sounds travel through my auditory canal to my eardrum, which is a tight membrane that vibrates because of the sound.
The tiny bone or hammer passed those vibrations to my anvil, which then passed them to the stirrup. My stirrup, the tiniest bone in my body, which is U-shaped, continued to pass those vibrations to my cochlea.
This spiral-shaped fluid-filled inner ear structure has tiny hairs called cilia that move when vibrated and cause a nerve impulse to form. The motion of the cilia caused ripples in the baselayer membrane and bent the hair cells lining its surface.
The movement of my hair cells triggered impulses in adjacent nerve cells. Axons of those cells converged to form the auditory nerve, which sent neural messages to my auditory cortex, which is in my brain's temporal lobe. To get there, these messages were sent through the thalamus. I was able to maintain my balance while walking down the street because of the 3 loops of fluid-filled tubes called semicircular canals. These are attached to my cochlea and my inner ear.
This was caused by my eustachian tube, which equalizes the pressure between my middle ear and the air outside. I looked around and found myself on top of a mountain.